As an anesthesiologist, I can tell you this. The number one risk to our brain health isn't drugs, it isn't trauma, and it isn't even working long hours at your job. It's actually debt. Now, new research is showing that chronic debt itself is physically altering the very makeup of our brains, making it harder to make sound financial decisions, to think clearly, and to keep you entrenched in the debt system once you're inside. Now, over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how this system works, how millions of people are becoming further entrapped in this system, and most importantly, how this system actually operates and keeps you farther entrenched once you're already inside. And when I say millions of people, I am not exaggerating. Currently, the total US household debt sits at approximately $18.8 trillion. And of that $18.8 trillion, that breaks down to roughly $13.2 trillion in mortgages, $1.69 trillion in auto loans, $1.66 trillion in student loans, and approximately $1.25 trillion in credit card debt. Now, credit card debt alone has hovered around record levels, and we're now starting to see serious stress show up in the numbers. Now, the share of credit card delinquencies that are 90 plus days due is climbing upwards of 13.1%, the highest number that we have seen in 15 years. Now, what's especially concerning is that everyday consumers are turning to credit cards and buy now, pay later schemes such as Affirm or Klarna in order to make not big purchases like vacations, but actually to purchase everyday necessities such as gas, groceries, and medical bills. Recent surveys show that approximately 25 to 29% of consumers are utilizing these schemes in order to afford everyday necessities. This isn't just about people living beyond their means. This is about millions of households using debt to cover basic living expenses. Now, when you're carrying this kind of debt load month after month, it puts your brain under constant stress. Now, this stress doesn't just make you feel anxious, it actually changes how different parts of your brain function. Now, one of the main areas affected is the part responsible for clear thinking, planning, and self-control. When this area is under chronic stress, it becomes harder to think long-term or resist short-term urges. You start reacting more to the pressure of the next bill instead of making thoughtful financial decisions. Now, another area that gets impacted handles memory and learning. Chronic financial stress can make it harder to remember important details and learn from past financial mistakes. And finally, the part of the brain that processes fear and emotional responses becomes much more sensitive. This can lead you to be reactive to financial stress, and sometimes leading to avoidance, and other times leading to impulsive decisions just to feel temporary relief. Now, over time, these changes make it much harder to break out of the debt cycle, even if you want to. Now, this is why so many people in debt keep up making decisions that keep them stuck. Their brain is no longer operating at full capacity for complex financial decision making. It becomes easier to say yes to new debt because it offers short-term relief. It becomes harder to sit down and create a real plan because the mental energy required feels so overwhelming. And it becomes difficult to delay gratification, even when you know it will help you in the long run. This is not a character issue. It's a brain issue created by long-term financial pressure. Now, what makes this even more difficult is that our entire financial system is built on debt. Most of the money that's circulating has actually been loaned into existence. Whether you're a government, you're a company, or you're an individual investor, we are all encouraged to borrow more to keep the economy growing. That's why debt has become so normalized in today's society. You can finance almost anything now, whether that's a house, a car, college education, or everyday necessities like a Chipotle burrito. The system needs constant borrowing and debt rollover to function. And when too many people or entities start trying to pay down their debt simultaneously, that causes stress and an economic slowdown. So the forces keeping people in debt aren't just personal, they are very structural in nature. Now, I know what this feels like because I have personally lived it. Now, when I graduated from my residency training, I was saddled with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of student loan debt. I was essentially an extremely expensive collateralized debt obligation. And this is debt that I'm currently paying off today, but it took me years to get ahead of it. And so the mental scars that I have It's not just theory. It's something that I have personally lived as well. Now, if you're currently carrying debt, I want you to remember this. The more you learn and understand about the different forces that are keeping you subordinated to debt, whether that's in your own brain or out in the financial system itself, the more power you have to fight back against the system. And that's what this channel, Medicine to Macro, is all about. And remember, movement is medicine. And the more we all understand about how things operate, whether that's how debt affects the brain or how the financial system works, that understanding will translate into movement and better sound decisions, not just in the financial markets, but in life itself. Now, if this video resonated with you, please consider subscribing to the channel or giving it a thumbs up. It helps other people in the same situation find it. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Cheers.